Welcome everybody to World of Tanks 9.1 test server. My name as always is Maxwell, and today we're going to be taking a look at the map changes to Komarin, or Komarin, depending on your pronunciation. So there's quite a lot of changes if you take a quick look at the mini-map, and some major changes as well, which are really going to change the dynamics of this map. So without further ado, we're going to have a fly around. We're going to try and take a route where we take everything in one big long route. So first off, we're going to take a look at the magical forest here. This is one of the biggest changes of this map. As you can see, a lot, and I mean a lot, of the vegetation has been removed from this place, making it a hell of a lot more sparse than it was before. The other major thing is it is no longer a hill. So if you have a look here, there's no way you can get a shot on the far left-hand flank from all the way back here, and there's no way you can get a shot on the northern flank from all the way back here. If you want to get a shot on somebody, you're going to have to be either artillery or you're going to have to be right in the front, because as you can see, this is kind of sat in a little depression. So you can see how close you're going to have to get if you want to try and get a shot on any of these flanks. In fact, if you see, you really have to crest this ridge here to be able to get a shot on anybody, and there is there's practically no vegetation on this ridge line here apart from this little bush. So that's one great change. I think we're going to find practically no tank destroyers camping in that location of the map, and even if they do camp in that location of the map, they're not going to be able to do anything to affect the flow of the battle, because they're not going to be able to get any shots at people. Other than that, there's just a few building changes here on this part of the map. You can see there's no longer a big open space between this location and the location behind that building there. There's now destructible buildings. Yep, as you can see, whoops, missed that one. As you can see, they are destructible. So there's destructible buildings leading all the way along now. So there's going to be plenty of cover for a hiding southern army and an advancing northern army to advance. The only bit of open ground here is between this building and that one now, and this big field here, but that's a lot less than it was before. Other major changes are there's a lot of river crossing points being added now. So the first of which is here, and that leads across into the main body of the land in the north. This bit here is practically unchanged. The only real difference here is the land is a lot flatter, so this path here that did used to lead along is no longer as steep as it was before, because you used to be able to just basically hide from advancing guns coming along there if you spawned in the north, just thanks to this heightened mud path there. Now if we head back this way, you'll see there is another river crossing. So if you spawn in the north, you can head that way, or you can head to this entirely new piece of land that they've added in that's lower than the land to the left-hand side here. It's got a few buildings, some lovely rocks. All this cover on the right-hand side here is going to offer you protection from the island there. There's quite a bit of vegetation here as well. As you can see, bushes there and bushes there, which are going to offer some great camouflage for people. But really, it's going to be fast, mediums, and light tanks that are probably going to be taken to this region. In fact, I can see this bush here, if you're able to get there and remain protected, is possibly going to be a great scouting location for you. But this leads straight on to the base. And because of the changes to the magical forest over there, and thanks to this little piece of cover here, in fact, you can imagine a light tank getting into position here and surviving is going to wreak havoc. But thanks to the changes to the forest over there, you can see that ridge line there is where any tank destroyers are going to have to crest in order to get shots on anybody, and they're just going to get spotted and shot to hell doing so. So excellent, excellent changes so far, making the map a lot more fluid than it was before. Next, we're going to take a quick look at the island in the center, which is not really an island anymore, if you notice on the mini-map. It's not disconnected entirely. I'm just going to have to do some driving wizardry here, because normally light tanks can't get across thanks to those tank traps. They will just stop you no matter what speed you're going. So I'm just going to try and squeeze there. We go around the side there. But it looks like, from what I investigated earlier, that the island is pretty much unchanged, apart from the fact, like I said, it's not an island anymore, and you've got this ridge line here offering fantastic cover. So really, you're pretty safe on this island now. And indeed, when we have a look around these buildings here as well. Again, the same thing, you are protected by the terrain here. There's a couple of spots you can get into for sniping, like this one here, but generally you're going to be able to maneuver around these buildings and only have to worry about the guys that you're squaring off against on the island, rather than getting shot from every which direction. Again, this is another sniping spot here. So really what they're doing is just focusing the channels of this map, rather than just having it so it's just one big shoot fest. But like I said, one massive thing you'll notice is that the island is actually no longer an island. They've added all of this land in here to the left-hand side of the island, to the right-hand side of the old land. This all used to be water here, and now an advancing medium tank can get into position here. As you see, there's lots of terrain changes and lots of destructible buildings and plenty of cover. I mean, this is a good bit of cover here. So you can imagine if a tank destroyer is able to get into position here, they're going to be able to wreak havoc on anybody. Of course, they don't have shots on the southern buildings, thanks to the change in terrain elevation here. As you'll notice, there's another low water mark river crossing. We're going to just head over this one. We're going to take a look at our final flank, which is the far left-hand side, which I think has seen some of the biggest changes, because this used to be one of the major stalemates on this map. Pretty much if you got locked in a stalemate over here, you'd just sit there for 12 minutes and then everyone would panic at the end, and then you'd all die, basically. But as you can see, there's another river crossing here. But what we're going to do is we're going to head to the left first. The rock still there, the favourite old sniping position. The only problem with that rock now is the addition of lots and lots of new buildings. So we've still got the indestructible church here, but what we do have is the addition of lots and lots of new destructible buildings. You still got the raised terrain on the right hand side there, but with the raised terrain on the not so island anymore, you don't really have to think about the risk of being shot from the side. You'll notice that building in front of me there used to be a roundabout here. Now they have moved it even further forward. It's now more of a... It's now closer to the northern spawn point than it is to the southern spawn point. So they're probably going to make... Their tanks are going to make it to that location first. And tanks in the southern region are going to have to be very, very quick to reach here first. As you can see, same building as before, but it's just been moved considerably further forward. Still got all these destructible buildings all the way around as well. But that's the great thing. Now that it's been moved up, it pretty much meets up with these buildings here, which is where the tank destroyers and the heavy tanks used to camp before. You'll also notice a massive reduction in the amount of vegetation, which means there is going to be a hell of a lot less camping here. Now, there is going to still be this big open kill square of a field, but it's not really going to be a kill field anymore, as you will notice in a second. These buildings here still curve around to the right-hand side, and they're all pretty much in the same layout as they were before, which leads directly onto the spawn point. But what you will notice is this is very much raised, and this is very much depressed into the land, like the magical forest on the other side. So say you've got a Jagdpanzer E100 camping at the back here, or a Waffenträger E100 camping at the back. Let's take a look in sniper mode. What can you see? Absolutely nothing. You can see tanks just as they crest over that hill, but by the time someone's cresting over that hill, if there's more than one of them, you are in serious trouble anyway. And if they decide to head through the buildings on the left-hand side and keep those as cover, they're going to be able to reach all the way pretty much well. They can probably get past absolutely unimpeded. So I'm going to see this area as no longer really a camping spot for tank destroyers. You're only really going to get artillery in here. And I will illustrate my point just now. As you can see, it's around about here that a tank would have to crest to before it's able to be shot at by the tank destroyers. If you're in this location here, and we go into sniper mode, as you can see, can't be seen. So if you head all the way across here, you've just got to be careful from the right-hand side now. But if you stay in cover here, then the buildings are going to offer you cover originally, and then this elevation in the land here is then going to start providing you cover from attacks from that left-hand side. So the only people who are really going to be able to camp there now is artillery. Nobody else. Tank destroyers are really going to have a hard time sitting there. What they're going to do is they're going to sit there for the majority of the game. Then they're going to get 1 or 2 shots on the attacking tanks as they come over the top of that ridge, and then they're probably just going to get killed. So tank destroyers are going to have to start finding new spots to camp in. But as you can see, cap zone's pretty much unchanged. So that is going to be it for my preview of Komarin. Lots and lots of big changes with this one. Really excited to start playing on this map. Really think it's going to help speed up the battle and make them a lot more dynamic and a lot more exciting. So, hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on the channel and a lot more to come in the future. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what you thought, if you want to add anything to this preview, or if you want to ask any questions, comment in the comment section below. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.
Critical